welcome to my channel. My name is Linda. I have a couple of fun crafts for you today. So what are we waiting for? Let's get started. Today we'll be working on some Rustic Farmhouse Christmas project. Did I just say Christmas? Yes, I did. And I know it's July. We're going to be doing them all month long. So let's get started with project number 1. For this project, I have a piece of scrap wood. It's already cut. It's 5 by 7. You can do whatever size that you want. And this that I picked up at a thrift store, picked up 2 of them for $3.95. I used the large star in a July 4th project, and I wanted the little star on this one. It actually broke when I was trying to take it apart, but I wood glued it, and you're not going to be able to see it when we're done. You could use something like this star from Dollar Tree or our Crafting with Kimber Wonky stars. I'll have links down below for you. And then I needed something for a little sign, and this is actually a little window shutter for like those doll houses. They have that dollhouse section in Hobby Lobby. So there you go, anything for a wood sign. And then I have a couple of wood numbers that I cut with my wood laser machine. And you can use any wood numbers you want, of course. I'm going to use Dixie Belle in the color Rusty Nail and a drop cloth for this project. Actually, I think I changed this Rusty Nail to a different red, but you know, whatever red and... Actually, it's whatever colors you want, but I'm going with the red and kind of a cream color. You could do this project with your background as a piece of foam board or something like that, a whole different shape if you want. And I will be honest, I'm not exactly sure if I love this project, but it was the first one. I had to get my mojo flowing, but I think it's cute, but it's not my favorite. You'll have to let me know in the comments what you think about it. It's okay. I can take the criticism. Just don't be really mean. All right, getting everything finished up. Now you will see as I come here to start distressing everything, see that little round piece right at the top of my hand up there? I actually had cut a piece of spindle and I was going to do like a cute little knob at the top of this sign. And then later I decided I don't really like that. It just doesn't fit. So you're not going to see it after this. Don't worry about it. But there's an idea for if you want to add a cute little knob at the top of a sign. All right, getting everything finished up and sanded out. And if you don't want to sand, you don't have to. Now, the star already had a couple of holes in it. You could drill holes if you want to do this, and I'm just putting some wire through it. All right? Cut off the excess, and then I'm going to take it with my round needle nose pliers and just curly cue it up and push it toward the star. Just kind of how it was originally when I got the sign, because I thought that would add a cute, fun texture to it. Now I want to add a piece of fabric. And then I'm going to add some batting underneath it. You could add a piece of felt or something like that. And you could sew around it if you want, and which I am going to do, but not with my sewing machine. I'm using some crochet thread here. You can get these at Walmart for $3, $4, and of course a needle. And I'm just going to do some cute country straight stitches around the edge. If you don't know how to do this, I will have a link to my blog because there's a pattern for the next project that'll have a quick little video on basic sewing stitches to show you how to do that. All right? So I'm just going to do this all the way around, these cute little stitches. I don't care if some of them turn out a little bit crooked or anything like that. And now once I got them there, I kind of have to straighten out because it wants to gather. I'm kind of have to straighten out my piece. And then once I do, I'm going to tie off on the back so it doesn't come out, the threads, cut off the excess. And then I'm going to add the batting. The batting's just to help lift it up. You could even use a piece, like I said, felt, but you could even use a piece of cardboard if you wanted. It just helps to lift this up so it's not too flat. And then I'm going to use spray adhesive here because if I was to use wet glue, the fabric is thin, it would show through it. And right here, you're going to see my hair coming across the screen. I tried to cut that out as much as possible in all my projects. It was a particularly hot day and I had a portable fan to my left and I didn't realize, it was blowing my hair right across the screen. So I apologize for that. Like I said, I tried to cut it out wherever I could because, you couldn't see anything but my wisps of hair blowing in the wind. Anyway, now I'm taking black paint mixed with water and I'm just using my fan brush and adding splatters to all of my pieces, even on top of my fabric. Then I'm taking my Crop-A-Dile and I'm going to punch a little hole near the right side of my sign. And then I'm taking a Rusty Bell. You can get these at Christmas time at like Hobby Lobby. And some rusty wire. I'm going to securely fasten the wire through the loop of the bell, of course. And then for the rest of it, not all of it, it's a longer piece than I need. I'm going to wrap some of it around this paintbrush handle so I can get some cute curly cues. And then I'm going to hang this through that hole in the shutter. I'll cut off the excess. I'll take my round nose pliers and, you know, curly cue it up and just press it against the back of the sign to secure it so it doesn't fall back out. I've got glue on there. I was checking to see if it was still wet. And then I attached it to the star, and now I'm adding glue to the back of the star, and then I will secure it to our fabric. And now I want to come in and add my wood number 2 and 5 on here. There's my hair blowing again, the wind across the screen again. Now you could use just vinyl numbers here if you want a wider sign, something like that. That would work fine too. You don't have to put numbers there if you don't want. You just make it your own. It's just a cute little sign. I'm just taking some greenery. I usually get it Hobby Lobby every year. Some frosty greenery is my favorite. And gluing them on, I kind of set them in place where I wanted to see where I would like it. Gluing those on. Here comes Bella to join. And then I'm gluing a bow I made with some ribbon from Walmart last year. Checking out my greenery to make sure I like it here. Bella's going to give me some cute little kisses. Aw, cute kisses, Mommy. Cute. All right. Now I am changing my bell out because I thought the bell was too small. It didn't make a big enough of a statement. So I'm adding a bigger bell. And then I'm taking a button, a wood button, of course, adding some thin twine through the center because I don't often like naked buttonholes. And then I'll glue it to the middle of that bow there. And then I'm going to use some of the shimmer spray. Those who've been with me a while, you know I love it. I'll have a link to the Etsy shop down below where you can get it. It's clear with some glitter. Spraying it on. And then once that's done, that makes this project complete. Okay, let's move on into project 2. A and B. So I'm going to make 2 of the same project, just different colors. I've got a piece of scrap wood left over here from a Dollar Tree sign, and this is Dollar Tree. It's the wood book. I don't know, like 5x8 or something like that. And then another piece of scrap wood, same size, 5x7 as I used in the last project. And it's easy, but I did draw a pattern for you, a couple of different sizes. Link to my blog in the description box for that pattern, all right? Light bulb pattern. I've got it drawn on this one. And then I've got drawn on this one. And in this, I'm just going to cut in half. So I could cut the light bulb shape out with my jigsaw, but it's so close to the edges. So what I'm going to do, I thought it'd be too hard to kind of do. I'm just going to take this regular saw and just kind of cut straight cuts close to it and then sand it the rest of the way off. First thing I'll do is just cut this one in half. All right. And then here I go just cutting this off. It was easier. I do get a little bit closer to it. This wood was actually hard to cut and sand. I don't know what kind of wood it is, but it's a really hard wood. I don't know. My husband gave me a bunch of pieces of that. This one was really quick and easy to cut, and I can get really close to it with just this cute little mini table saw. You can find these like on Amazon, these little mini table saws. Not particularly this brand, but they have other brands. I'll see if I can get a link for you down below. Really easy to work with. All right, see here I am just sanding down to, I think I'm using like 60 grit sandpaper to get down to the line. And then I will switch up, you know, to smooth it all off to like a 220 sandpaper, kind of get all the sharp edges off, but it works fine. I probably, you know, sanded a little more than I needed to if I would have just cut it with the jigsaw, but, you know, I really didn't feel like clamping it and all that kind of stuff. Anyway, got both of those done, and now I'm taking the back side of this sign off here, the print that's on the back side, and then I'm smoothing all the sharp edges. I did that on both of the light bulbs as well, and then here it is done. See, they look like cute light bulbs, right? So you can leave the bottom part of the light bulb blank, or you can take like a ruler. I did, I think, 3/4 inch in between and just like use a Sharpie marker or something. I'm going to use my little Dremel tool in this little blade here. And I'm going to use this paint scraper thing to kind of give me a metal edge to go up against. And then I'm going to like cut lines into where I marked it with a pencil. I'm just going to go kind of shallow here at first, and then later, like off camera, I go in a little bit deeper. And I was just going to originally do it on the front side, but then I decided I'm going to do it along both sides as well. I don't worry about the back. So here I am coming a little bit deeper. I'll go still deeper with the cut off camera. You'll be able to see here in just a second. I'm coming along the sides now. You can kind of see how deep those cuts are getting, however deep you want. See, just like that on all sides. You could use a wood burning tool and make a cute little design. You could paint lines on. I just wanted it, you could have it for definition, but I wanted it to be able to wrap wire through as well and hold the wire. But if you wanted to just paint lines to make definition, that works too, just to make it look like the screw part of the light bulb, right? Now I'm taking my wax, Waverly Antique Wax, mixed with water, and I'm really putting it dark through the lines that I created in there, letting that sit, and then I will come in so that way it really gives a shadowing in there. And then I'll come in with just a little bit more watered down wax and just paint this wood. And I'm just going to leave it like that. I'll sand it a little bit, but basically I'm just leaving it this color. All right, and then on the lighter piece of wood, I'm coming in with that antique wax. You all know I like to do this. I'll come in with the antique wax, and then when I paint over to the top and then I distress it, you see that darker color coming up around the paint, and it gives it just a little bit of depth to it. It's just my personal preference. And now I'm bringing in some wood numbers again and a wood star. I had these left over from last year. I might as well use them up. And then I'm using Dixie Belle chalk paint again, rustic red and drop cloth. So on this one that I painted the Waverly Antique Wax under is coming the drop cloth. And again, you can get stars if you want them a little bit thinner, all sorts of wood stars out there, or if you want the cute kind of wonky ones, craftingwithkimber.com. Again, the link will be down below. Painting the star. I painted the star half on the back as well because I thought some of it might hang off a little bit in my design. And then I'm coming to the other light bulb and, of course, painting it with our, beautiful red color. And then I'm just going to distress a little bit so you can see I'm distressing. But as I'm distressing, I was like, this is taking too long. So I'm showing a little bit of this, and then I do the rest outside with my electric sander. It's quicker. And here everything is all sanded up. You can see how beautiful they look if you like that rustic distress sanded look. I spray painted the numbers because that was quicker than trying to paint them in black. I'll use the white star on the red and the black numbers on the white. And then, of course, I'm bringing in my black paint mixed with water and my fan brush, and I'm adding splatters onto all my wood pieces. Again, I think it just unifies everything and then adds depth to it. And then I'm going to bring in some rusty wire. I don't remember which store I bought it from, but I just got it off Etsy. You can just put the keywords, rusty wire, and get whatever gauge you want of the wire. And I'm going to cut off a nice big long piece. And I'm going to use those slits to wrap my wire through. And I'll make sure I pull them really tight through those slits. And what I want to do, now you could just do the wire straight, but I thought it would be cute to kind of add curlicues on each line of the wire. So you can see like that. Now I'm going to pull it really tight through those slits. I'm going to wrap it and twist it on the back side and then continue wrapping around. And I'm going to try to alternate the curlicue. So like that curlicue is more to the right. So this next line of curlicue will be a little more to the left. And I'll squish it and do whatever I need to do and wrap it through those grooves. And then the last set of curlicues will be more to the right again. Now you know why I got such a long piece of wire. Wrapping around to the backside, and I'll just pull it up through there like that, you can see, and then kind of wrap it around, cut off the excess. And it's not pretty on the backside, but do not worry, we will cover that up, and I'm going to do the same on both of these and see what that looks like. It just adds some rustic charm. But you could totally not even use wire. That's perfectly fine. Here's what I'm going to cover up the back with. I had a couple pieces of this burlap material that's stiff because they were part of like a garland banner. And I'm just going to glue them to the back. But this type of burlap, I will bring it up to the screen a little closer. You can't even see the wire, like the bulkiness of the wire down below. So it works perfectly and it makes it all nice and neat. Look at that. So I'm going to do that on both sides on the back. And nobody knows how ugly it looks. Pressing it against that glue with my little craft stick here. And now I'm just going to bring in some different greenery. We're going to start on the white one first. Beaded berries from Hobby Lobby, greenery from Hobby Lobby, some rusty bells, this ribbon from Hobby Lobby, green check. I've already got it tied in a bow. And of course, my wood numbers. And then the red, again, more greenery, the wood star. I'm going with this kind of burgundy red and a button already tied in a bow, and I'm going to just like clip my bell with a safety pin to the middle of the bow. And then bringing out the hot glue gun. You know, I don't do that very often, but for these and the greenery, it's always easier with greenery to bring in my hot glue butt, my hot glue butt gun. Yeah, to get that, you know, into place quickly. Now I'm just bringing in my beaded berries. You can choose whatever you want on these, of course. It's to your liking, however you want to decorate these. My numbers aren't glued on yet. I'm just got them laying into position so I can see how, you know, I want my greenery in there. And then, of course, my bow bell ensemble, gluing that down. And plus, I don't want to use the wood glue on my numbers. So those are setting aside waiting. I'm going to continue with the hot glue and get the greenery on this side done. I wanted them to look, of course, a little different, but go together as well. Gluing my wood star down. I didn't end up hanging it off the edge, so didn't need to paint the back, but there you go. Gluing my bow down in the center of the star. And then my button, I already added twine through the center. All right, and then I'm going to use my Fabri-Tac glue to get my numbers down onto the other light bulb. Perfect. And now I'm going to bring in my quick hold glue. It comes from the same company of E6000. And what I like about this glue is it takes 10 minutes to set up so you can still continue on with your project. It does take the 24 hours to cure, but at least at the 10-minute mark, you can keep on crafting. And I like to let it set up for about 30 seconds prior so that it gets a little tacky first, and then it grabs nice and grabby faster. Once these have set up 10 minutes, I'm going to grab my shimmer spray. Those of you that are new to my channel, this spray isn't like the glitter junk you find in the store. It's a clear spray with really fine glitter in it, and it comes in different color glitters, so to speak. So if you want to check it out, again, link in my description box. Once I spray these, that makes these projects complete. So I hope you liked all of these projects today. Leave me a comment down below and let me know what you think. Let me know what you think about this one. Like I said, I'm kind of on the fence about it, but I had to get my mojo going. But I really love me light bulbs. Those are so cute, and I can see them in a trio, and they're actually pretty tall. I mean, they're around 10 to 12 inches tall. You can make these as big or as little as you want. You can make great big gigantic ones, you know, out of foam board if you want. You know, it would make a great statement. You know, it'd be a lot of greenery to decorate, but you could do it. Please give this video a thumbs up. And if you walked in here for the first time, you're just checking things out, you're digging all the Christmas, there's lots more to come. Make sure before you click off, you hit that subscribe button and notification bell so you don't miss out on another video from me. Look at that cute wire. Oh, I took paint around that. Dry brush the wire to make that wire pop out. That's an idea, huh? Forgot to tell you guys that. Really makes that rusty wire pop out. Anywho, before I go, I'm going to leave you with one final thought. As a side note, today's final thoughts will be talking about the wilderness. Now, the wilderness is a place where, like, the Israelites wandered for 40 years. It's a place where Jesus went for 40 days. Okay, and it just kind of is a place where God may take you because he wants to bring you closer to him. He needs to work with you and through you for something. Maybe you need his guidance, or you need to learn to trust him a little bit more on something. Whatever it is, we kind of call it the wilderness because sometimes we go through these periods of time where we just need to trust in God a little bit more. So here we go. The wilderness is a place that we will inevitably visit at least once in our lives. It might not be our destination of choice, but sometimes God hands us a travel itinerary to go and check it out. Believe it or not, this wilderness could be much like an amusement park filled with exciting rides, but it's never fun and it's never easy. We have to accept the fact that we have been given this trip for a reason and leave any thoughts of doubt by the "too short for this ride" sign as we step into the long line for whatever ride we are supposed to go on. During our journey, this acceptance might be difficult because we just don't know how long we have to endure the ride, but our faith in Jesus will always have ways of getting us through our ride quickly without using any fast lane options. Throughout Scripture, there are many accounts of those who endured their own wilderness amusement parks, and God provided and protected for them all. In the Bible, the book of Isaiah, chapter 4, verse 5 and 6, "Then the Lord will create over all of Mount Zion, and over those who assemble there, a cloud of smoke by day, and a glow of flaming fire by night. Over everything the glory will be a canopy. It will be a shelter and shade from the heat of day, and a refuge and hiding place from the storm and rain." No matter what ride we eventually climb into, God will look out for us. However, if we try to use self-reliance and leave him behind and cut the line to get to the ride so that we finish faster, we may just wind up in any single seat going through the dark tunnel of whirring noises alone, sitting next to a stranger without being able to see what's in front of us. Wouldn't it be easier to just trust in God, stay with him in line, and when it's our turn, allow him to pick two seats side by side so that together we only have to face a few loop-de-loops with our eyes wide open, knowing what's ahead? We have to approach this whole travel plan that God has for us with an expectant heart, believing that with God we will have everything we need to endure the ride. The book of Psalms, chapter 31, verse 14 and 15, "But I trust in you, Lord. I say you are my God. My times are in your hands." We can't panic and try to run ahead and face the ride alone. We have to allow our faith to hold on to his strength, and we mustn't allow the enemy to fill us with any doubt or fear. The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 31, verse 6, "Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid or terrified because of them, for the Lord your God goes with you. He will never leave you nor forsake you." Through all of the twists and turns, we have to rely on God to equip us for what lies ahead, and we can't let our hearts be troubled because here's the best part. At some point, the closing hours of the Wilderness Amusement Park will come to an end. Throughout the ride, we will have had our faith tested, but our spirit strengthened as we leaned into the comfort that only God could provide for us. And eventually, when his timing is absolutely perfect, God will signal that our ride is finished. With joy, we will raise that safety bar, stand, and exit left. With his peace, he will guide us out of that park, and he will continue to walk with us into the promised land, filled with a new hope and a new future. I thank you for sharing your time with me, and I'll talk with you again soon. Bye.